What's up, SportsBeat? We're here in the Hofstra basketball practice facility. Hofstra had an incredible season, pulling off 21 wins, and they had one of the best pick-and-roll offenses, not only in the CAA, but in all of the country. That was led by one of the best ball handlers in the country, CAA Conference Player of the Year, Arianna Estrada. Aaron, before we even get into the pick and roll for you guys to get into the half-court set, some teams are going to be pressuring you a whole lot, and you got to break that full-court pressure. We saw Iona throw it at you, Richmond, UNCW, Towson, Jamel Telefort by himself on Northeastern. Show us how you do it.
All right, let's go. So the first one is where they deny me. So Telefort, you want to be the defender. So Telefort, he usually guards me like that. Then coach just tells me to get open either way. So I usually break to the ball side because it's a shorter pass and it's easier to get the ball, And from there, when the defender is guarding me, coach just tell me, I'm a good dribbler. I can create space for myself. Just break the press if they're guarding me one-on-one.
All right, now the second scenario.
The second scenario is usually when they're in the zone and they're not really matched up. They're not really trying to deny me or anything like that. They're just trying to slow us down. So that usually starts. I usually break away from the ball, and when I break away from the ball, I get it, and the inbounder comes in, and I usually hit back to the inbounder, and that's how we break it from there. The last coverage that teams were doing a lot to me this year too was just switching with the 5-man, and they were really just praying that the 5-man could stay in front of me. They were really helping the gaps a lot too. So, but this is what this one looks like. I want you to set the screen right here, Brad. So, as Brad would set the screen, the 5-man would come up, and the R5 will roll. And basically, I would just wait for everything to marinate, and then it would just be me versus the 5-man, and it would just be like a one-on-one basically. And this was my favorite coverage personally too. Because, I would kill the 5-man. So.
All right, Aaron, 18 conference games, plus 15 points in 15 of those games, only held to single digits once. They threw a whole lot of things at you throughout the season. None of it seemed to work. One of the things that we saw early on before conference play started was Princeton, how they guarded you with their guys going under the screens and them sticking to J-Ray and Cooks in the corner. So walk us through that and how you were able to have, especially in that first half, such an explosive scoring output.
Yeah. So the way that Princeton guarded me, like he said, they really went under my screens. And usually when a team goes under your screens, it's because they think you're not a great shooter like that. So Brad, come set the screen on right here on him. Set it on him. So when they set the screen, their guys were going under. And the way that our coach chose our bigs to set the screen is like angle it, like right here, so that they can't go directly under it and reattach to me when I do use the screen. So when I would come off the screen, they would usually get stuck because they're trying to go under. And the way that their big men were playing, they were like staying back because they were programmed to go under the screen, So that would just leaving me wide open for the mid-range shot, And I have pretty high percentage when I shoot the mid-range shot. So that's one of the coverages. So for the second coverage that teams usually throw at me is called a hard hedge. It's just really a quick trap to try to get my hands off the ball and try to make somebody else be a playmaker opposed to me with it being a primary ball handler. So how that works is Brad, as our big, would set the screen right here, and their big men on the other team, as I would come off the screen, they would step out with me and just basically trap me really quick until the guard would get back over, And that usually, I would have to make a read based on the backside guy. If he would help in the middle, then the corner would be open. And if he helped in the middle, then the other pass would be open over there.
So Aaron, that was some of the pick and roll coverages and how you dealt with them, but you also got to deal with the defender in front of you. And when I'm guarding you, I know you talked about it earlier in the year, being from Jersey, you loved when guys got up on you. So now I want to get up on you and walk us through how to break down and fight off that kind of aggressiveness.
So basically when you're going against a more aggressive defender, a stronger guy that tries to get up in you, you can't really do too much playing around with the ball, because they're going to just put their arm bar on you and you're not going to be able to really do nothing. So, like I said, like you mentioned, me being from New Jersey, we kind of we thrive on one-on-one basketball, really. So the isolation for us, it's really easy. So say, like, if a guy's pressuring me like this, usually they try to force me to my right too, because I'm left-handed. So usually they try to force me to my right, like just like that. And usually, like, if they'll crawl up into me, if I'm not dribbling, like, I'm just coming up a little bit more. They'll try to, like, play me like this. And usually what I do, really, is I try to create space. So we're taught to really be in triple threat a lot. And I really try to, like, misdirect the defender. So I usually try to go left a little bit, get them moving a little bit, you know, and then after I get them moving to the left a little bit, I tend to just take off to whatever side that they jump more to, you know what I'm saying? So it just makes it easier for me to get by the defender back to me.
All right, so let's go at it at 3/4 speed now. So that's what it looks like when we play up on Aaron. But now if we're going to play a little bit back and we give him a little bit more space, let's see what happens. So Aaron, I'm going to play back. My heel's on 3-point line. Now you have some more space to operate. How do you deal with that?
All right, so really what I do when a defender's playing a little bit back, I try to give him some hesitations to see what he does, see if he bites off the hesitations. And if he doesn't bite off the hesitations, then I just go to hesitation to a jump shot, you know, because he's backed up and I got enough time to really get my shot off. But if I do the hesitations and he starts biting off him, jumping, thinking I'm going to shoot, then that's when I know I got him and I could just get by him easily.
All right, let's go through that now.
All right. This ball coverage, it was really just a hard trap whenever we would sit outside ball screens. So like I said, Houston, our first game was really the only team that like really did this a lot. We did it good too. So what this would look like is we would set the screen right here. And this guard would trail me, get over the screen, while the big man would stay attached to me. And it would just be like a really hard trap, and they were forcing me to pass the ball. Like they were both trapping me until I got rid of the ball. So.
Now when you're in this area, how can you see and where you're trying to kind of target and finding the open man?
Yeah, really, it's just you gotta be able to read and react quick before you get it, before they really like trap you deep in the corner. Like, you don't want to keep dribbling all the way to the corner, but you want to then pick up a third defender, which is the baseline as well. But the pass that you're really looking for is maybe your big man slipping real quick, and if your big man slips and the guy and help over there comes over, then you got the corner pass. All right, so the final coverage was our primary ball screen defense too. It's a ice screen, or as we called it black. So that's pretty much when whoever's guarding me, he would guard me and basically force me to the baseline, while the big would come up, and this would also be like a mini trap for a second, just until the guard got back in front of the ball. And it's really to prevent the ball from getting to the middle of the floor, just to make it harder to score and run some time off the clock. So set the screen right here, Brad. So he would basically just set the screen like that, and you would like really get on my hip, really forcing me this way, and you would like that. The big man is staying with me until you get back in front. Then the big will release, go back to his man. And that's what the black for. And what you're really looking for on that, you gotta really read, just like the trap that I just went over, you gotta really read like the help man on the opposite side. You know, if he helps and commits to the big, then you got the corner pass. But then if he stays out, then you got your big wide open for a layup.
Well, Aaron, we went through pick and roll coverages, we went through one-on-one, we went through press breakers. Basically, we have the recipe and we know what it takes to beat the CAA Conference Player of the Year. It seems like anyone can do it. I'm going to take my shot at it. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Well, it turns out not everybody can be the CAA Player of the Year, as we've seen. There's only one Aaron Estrada. Aaron, you had fun today?
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for having me on the show, man.
Always a pleasure to have the best player in the conference on the show. For SportsBeat, I'm Blake Waldron.